Welcome back to another Bourbon Santa video. Today we're going to talk about brandy finished whiskey. Now, there's some big problems in the whiskey industry right now. And one of them is whiskey finishes that aren't exactly what they're purporting themselves to be. They aren't quite living up to the consumer expectations. Now, what I'm talking about is when NDPs take a crap ton of MGP bourbon barrels and then finish them in brandy barrels, then bottle them and ship them off to the consumer. And you're seeing them. You're seeing them all over the internet. Strawberry brandy, grape brandy, Mexican vanilla barrels. They love to call them brandy barrels, though. So you're seeing a ton of those right now. And, you know, some are like where it's chocolate, vanilla, strawberry, and then they call it Neapolitan or whatever. And then there's kiwi. I've seen so many different ones. Well, what's really going on here? Do you believe that strawberry, kiwi, brandy is a thing that's aged in barrels? Because that's what you're assuming, right? You're assuming that they took the MGP, dumped it into a brandy barrel that aged brandy, then let it mature in that, then El Dumpo, bottling, shipping. That's what you're assuming, right? So, MGP bourbon, or wherever from, bourbon, brandy barrel that used to age brandy, bottle, ship. That's not exactly what's happening. Not exactly. So, there are a few companies, barrel retailers, suppliers, cooperages, if you will, that have come up with their own slightly different, some of them patented processes. And what they're doing is they are creating a brandy barrel. So they have a fluid that they are putting into the barrel and then seasoning the barrel with that fluid. Now, what is that fluid? Does that fluid have brandy in it? Yes. Is it just brandy? No. There are other chemicals in there that are breaking down the wood fibers of the barrel to enhance the aging flavor. And so how they're doing that is they have their proprietary chemical mixture, which is going to have some brandy in it, maybe some rum, maybe some Mexican vanilla, maybe some whatever, so that the process can be said to be what you think the process actually is. So this is brandy mixed with chemicals that break down the wood, mixed with other chemicals that enhance flavor, and that strawberry, pineapple, kiwi, mango, bubblegum, grape, whatever flavor it is that you want, and you get to pick it. It's all mixed into the chemical. The chemical goes into the barrel. The barrel is then pressurized and other unnamed process, forcing that chemical mixture into the wood. Into the wood. High pressure, the chemical gets pushed into the wood. Then the barrel is emptied and shipped off to the NDP. Then the NDP comes along, takes their MGP bourbon barrel, you know, gets a hose and goes, pours it into this specially treated brandy barrel, and then it's left to sit for weeks. maximum. Just weeks, just a few weeks. Then bottling and shipping, and then you get to enjoy it at home. Now, this is sweet tea flavored MGP bourbon now, because I just used the proprietary process. So you saw what I did, right? I dumped that in there just for a couple seconds while I was talking, dumped it out. All that tea is right here. Dumped my whiskey in, dumped my whiskey out. Now, imagine you give this a few weeks and let, I didn't get the chemical into the wood. I didn't put it under pressure. I didn't do any of the magic elixirs to make that chemical go into the wood. I just have residue in here. And this very wet barrel comes straight to the NDP for them to dump their MGP whiskey into, let it sit for a couple weeks. All of that pressure-induced liquid in the wood comes out into the whiskey, flavoring the whiskey. It's not really barrel aging, is it? That seems a whole lot more like flavoring whiskey to me. Ooh, weeded sweet tea bourbon. That's actually pretty good, which is a touch of sweet tea. So anyway, so that's what it is. That is what these finishes are. That's how they're doing this. Now, is that every single NDP? No, probably not. Is that the majority of them that are putting out these outlandish finishes, strawberry, kiwi, banana, coconut, marshmallow, butterscotch, brandy? What? There's no such thing. I saw one that was a watermelon brandy finished bourbon. Watermelon brandy is not barrel aged. It's a clear spirit. Watermelon brandy is clear brandy that is flavored with watermelon, and it's crystal clear. There's no barrel involved. Stop it. Stop it. So now you know what's going on with that. Now, on the next episode of Greatest Scams in Bourbon, biggest scam of bourbon, whatever you want to call it, we're going to talk about barrel proof, cask strength barrel proof, and how that doesn't really mean anything. And most people aren't really doing that. So we're going to talk about that too. So I don't know about most people. Some people aren't really giving you what they say they're giving you. We're going to talk about that next time. Until then, I hope you have a great day. And don't let your strawberry, purple, doo-doo stink bourbon ruin your day. But understand what you're drinking. If you like flavored bourbon, go for it. Freaking go for it. I don't care. They found a loophole around the TTB rules that say you can't add additives to whiskey, to bourbon. So instead of adding them directly, they're adding them to the finishing barrel, and the finishing barrel is adding them to the whiskey. So they found a way around the TTB rules. That's what's happening. So there will be a link to a website of one of these suppliers in the description of this video explaining exactly how this process works so you can read it for yourself. Until next time, have a great day.